Pledge allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Edith, would you like to read the proposed local law for regulating the hours of operation of public parks?
Sure. It is hereby given that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Lake Placid will hold a public hearing on Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 5 p.m. in person in North Elba Town Hall, 2693 Main Street, first floor, Lake Placid, New York, and via video conference to consider the following. Proposed local law number 2 of 2025, a local law regulating the hours of operation for public parks. The link for the video conference will be the same as for that day's board meeting and available on the village website. That day's board meeting will immediately follow the conclusion of the public hearings. A complete copy of the proposed local law may be found on the village website at https://northelba.villageoflakeplacid.ny.gov, or you may obtain a copy by emailing the village clerk at lpclerk@lakeplacid.ny.gov. All interested persons are invited to participate in the public hearing and will be given an opportunity to be heard. This local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State, signed in Westland Village.
Is there anybody here who would like to comment?
Actually, what is your definition of public park?
We are considering every park that the village owns. So it would be Mids Park, Hillcrest Park, McKinley Park.
Lodge?
Well, I want me to read the definition, it is here in the law.
Okay, go ahead.
Public park shall mean any land, recreation area, or open space owned, maintained, or operated by the Village of Lake Placid and designated for public.
So that would include the village lodge, by definition.
Yeah.
So if somebody gets here late at night and they're trying to get to their camp and they're putting the boat in, they can't do that at 11 o'clock at night?
Yes, they can, 2 to 4.
It's
2 a.m.
2
2 a.m. 4 a.m.
Thank you for clarifying.
Reason being,
Riffraff.
no, so it can be shut down.
Okay,
But,
gotcha.
And it's definitely not a dawn to dusk.
Yeah, I figured it was Riffraff.
But that is what our insurance agent wanted. That is what our insurance agent wanted.
Sure.
No, I have no problem with it. I was just. I had read the proposal, it just dawned on me, maybe find out more about
Good, appreciate it.
Oh. So. Rather than. Rephrase it, I mean, Janet and I had a discussion about, actual, not closing the parks, but. Allowing people to transverse. Through the park, so maybe. It's. You're allowed to do that. We really have to close the park, and it would give, I think it would still give Chuck some,
Yeah, what you're saying, in other words, you can't stop, sit on the bench and walk through it.
yes.
For example, if somebody was going home.
Yes.
in Those hours and they were walking from. Hillcrest down through the Teddy Bear Park,
Yeah, no,
just
that's a
going
great,
home, or
that's a
they're
great
coming
thought.
from
Yeah.
Main Street going home,
Would be very in favor of that. I think that makes sense.
walking through the beach to go home, or walking through number 1 Main Street, as they're walking from the cottage somewhere.
So it, obviously, we have to rework, do we table then this public hearing?
No, you've had a public hearing, but you
Okay.
just now decide, so in other words,
Okay.
you'd have
You
to
can
rewrite
amend
it
it.
and
Okay.
have another
Amend,
public
yeah.
hearing or
Yeah.
not.
Amend it?
I think we can amend it, based on your thoughts.
I think that's great work. For pulling that together, so thank you.
I mean, I understood the purpose behind this to be prohibiting sleeping, hanging out. vagrancy, I guess you might call it, in a public park. But not
Yeah, I think
traveling,
maintaining general access.
since at least 3 of the parks I can think of are thoroughfares for people.
Well, and if in the future we found not doing the right thing and saying, well, I'm just passing through, we just go back to our original intent. Have a problem, but in the meantime, that sounds like a great solution.
And are you still thinking of keeping it at 2 to 4?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, though, if you're gonna allow people to walk through, period, you,
I mean, you're right, if you're gonna allow people to walk through, I mean, we could be a little closer, I mean, we could say from 11 to 5. If whatever,
I mean, I guess, my understanding was the potential for vagrancy, people misusing the gazebo, that
Yeah.
kind of activity. I don't know, when they stay there till 2.
hands up.
You can mute yourself and ask us a question if that's what you'd like, or make your comment. iPad
Hello,
4.
yeah, hi. Just looking through this law, it appears that, I don't know where you're going with it as far as, it seems like there's some further debate on it tonight, but if you're gonna close the parks down and make it unlawful to go into the parks, you're gonna have to light signage up. You can't just make assumption to public space that people can't access it. Now, clearly, if they're doing sleeping in the park, some type of vagrancy, things like that, but you can't just decide that between 3 and 4 in the morning or whatever it may be, whatever this is caused by, I don't know what the cause of it is, but you can't just exclude people from public lands. It would be like closing down the sidewalks ostensibly. Without posting, you would have to put adequate posted signs, and if it's dark out, you're gonna have to light those posted signs. So that's just my input on what that is, because it wouldn't be lawful to close down open public lands, taxpayer lands. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Anybody else? Mike, do you have anything? No. Do you have anything?
So do we want to be,
Yes, I think everyone agree with that. And for now, just leave it 2 to 4. And we can always work that in the future if it's a problem. Okay. Since you opened it,
So technically, I mean, well, I guess we're only a minute or 2 away from that. It's a 5.
we have to keep this until the next one.
Right, right.
Signage, like, Ellen was just saying with the lights, how is that going to affect like Teddy Park? Or the residential neighborhoods signs, that's kind of a nuisance for people to have more light pollution. Just a thought.
you want to answer that, Jan? I mean, to be honest with you, do we legally have to write a sign?
You legally have to post something, be a violation. And if it's gonna be at night, I think there has to be some way for people to see it.
It's under a street light or something like that.
I think if it's in a place where it's like, where it's visible and there's like.
There used to be light poles in the park along the sidewalk. I don't know if they're there anymore.
Henley has them.
The
Teddy
Teddy Bear
Bear.
Park used to, I don't know if they're still there. Number 1 Main Street. No, and I don't know. going to
Number
the
1
beach.
Main has got 4 lights.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of residential neighborhoods where their bedrooms are overlooking the park and at 3 o'clock in the morning, who wants to be looking at the lights? Middle of the summer. With the,
Luckily, the new LED lights are very.
Just keep it the way you have it.
Actually, we
Forget
the town,
change.
somebody in our,
With a.
no, they're pointed at the house, the ones we can see. bedroom. So that's where I was thinking about that with people.
Like our street now, we've actually had residents playing as a yard. I mean, it really just does the.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
okay.
Sometimes do both sides.
Okay.
But no, it's a good point.
Does anybody have anything else? I don't close the public hearing for proposal law number 2.
Tracy,
No, Tracy.
Yeah, okay.
You're the person.
Okay, thanks. Should I Open 3?
No.
Okay, at this point, we will open up public hearing, second. Local law number 3, Clerk, can you read that?
Sure. Let's see. Just so you all know, this is referred to as 4 here because we had the other one that was going to be 3, that was bumped, so this is still as it was written originally. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Lake Placid will hold a public hearing on Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 5:10 p.m. in person at North Elba Town Hall, 2693 Main Street, first floor, Lake Placid, New York, and via video conference to consider the following: proposed local law number 4 of 2025, a local law repealing local law number 5 of 1991. The link to the video conference will be the same as for that day's board meeting and available on the village website. That day's board meeting will immediately follow the conclusion of the public hearings. A complete copy of the proposed local law may be found on the village website at https://northelba.villageoflakeplacid.ny.com. Or you may obtain a copy by emailing the village clerk at lpclerk@villageoflakeplacid.ny.gov. All interested persons are invited to participate in the public hearing and will be given an opportunity to be heard. This local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. Need to ask the village clerk.
Anybody have any comments? Dealing with local law number 5?
People can still walk down the sidewalk.
Yes. Yeah, we have the clear 6 feet.
How does that affect the new boards?
Many boards still have respect the 6-foot clear way for that.
They're part of the sign ordinance, not this local law that we're repealing.
So that kind of seems unfair to like a restaurant that can't advertise out on the sidewalk, building stores can.
The sidewalk people could. Sandwich boards. But
No, they can't.
No. We repealed that? No.
That's under the signage, that's under the land use code, sign.
It's a whole different law, I
But they still
understand
can
that.
do that. Gone now?
You have, I
I thought we
defer to
did.
what it says, the sign ordinance.
I was under the impression we did that. The whole law said they had to tether them to the building, they had to provide them with insurance. And I was always told the reason none of them did was because of that, couldn't put balloons on it.
But that's not part of the local law that I'm
Oh, right.
aware of, it's part of the land use.
Right. But even in that case, if you did have that, you still have to leave that 6 foot.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm all for people being able to put the product out, I'm all for that. But I think the restaurants and the land use code or whatever ordinance the meeting boards fall under, I think that also needs to be addressed. All the local businesses on Main Street, not just clothing stores, the stores that sell an actual product, you know, a restaurant. It's the fun, to keep it all in fair play.
We do have code enforcement. The sandwich, once again, cannot be in that, because you were asking about walking the sidewalk. That's what I was saying, there are places the sidewalk is very narrow, in that case, if I remember, you couldn't put a board out, you had to put a sign on the side of your building.
Only also allowed so many square feet per visible, it's a very complex code. Yeah.
So, back to the clothing thing, they're gonna be allowed, because they have 6 feet
Well,
clearance,
pretty much becomes their property.
yes. But if a restaurant has a sandwich board And there's still plenty of clearance,
Their property.
yes. But the local ordinance says that they can't just put the menu board, which would take up space in clothing.
Because it comes under the sign.
What I'm saying, is I think that needs to be addressed.
I think the sign ordinance comes around, you can't have 4 or 5 signs out. I think that was part of it. I think that's where it belongs. Unless someone disagrees. I mean, and we haven't really had a problem with that. Very, very few people have put out sandwich board. Fear at the time was that everyone was gonna put it out, but
Down towards the downhill. I know I only have sandwich boards, he's got a stuffed pony.
Okay.
you know,
That plays by the rules.
tied up for the day.
Like I said, another one that plays it,
That's the Ballard.
or not.
Yeah. So this is a 10-minute, yeah, 5, 10. Is this another 10-minute?
No, I mean, you do have to keep it open for a reasonable period of time. Reasonable could be lack of any participation. Be 5 minutes.
And I'm
Jim, did you have any comments for the second hearing?
No, sir. That really doesn't impact, in my first comment was just kind of the way the law was written. So I have none on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Give it, no one have anything here, no one else is here. We'll go ahead and close the second public hearing. I'm assuming that you did pledge allegiance. Okay, thank you. This time we'll regular board meeting. So at this point, Janet, since we are going to have you rework some of the things in local 2, should we table that for tonight?
Yeah.
Or can, okay, good. Do I have a motion to table that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then item B is proposal law number 3.
Motion.
I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nita, that will now become local
Oh,
law number
yes,
2.
yep.
Thank.
Okay, and everyone got public hearing meeting minutes from June 16th. Have a motion to accept those. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. And item D is public hearing and special meeting minutes from June 26th.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? And busy, regular board meeting minutes from July 7th.
Make a motion. Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Very good. An agreement for fire protection services, I believe that's the town and the village.
So the renewal, if you will, of the series of 5-year contracts between town and the village, whereby the village provides fire protection services to 4 properties in the town. Apparently, the town held a public hearing on this, as they're required to do, and they have passed a resolution approving the contract. Would be now up to the board to pass the resolution approving the contract. It provides that the village gets paid twice a year. It's a look back period because we always provide the town with what the cost of maintaining and operating that fire department was for the prior year. And provide that information to the town. They reimburse us based on their percentage of assessed value of all properties. Applies to properties in the town versus the properties in the village. I think the last I knew that percentage was about 70-30. I think it still is in that range, correct?
Yes.
Basically, they're paying the fire protection services.
Really 50,
But-
really 50-50.
Well, they shouldn't be paying 50-50.
Remember, he goes back
let village taxpayers pay.
Oh.
But,
It works out about 50/50.
but the contract is 70.
Yep.
Correct, yes.
Contract is 70.
Yes. Um, but as I said, it's a look back, so it's based on last year's numbers. I think the two payments are once in February and once in July.
Um,
I'm assuming that except for fire protection, so
Otherwise, we need to sign
I'll second.
and is that roll call or is it just general?
this general.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we also have the letter of agreement with the Police Association. Does anyone have any questions on the contract or anything?
So this is just an addendum to the contract, when the contract goes into renegotiation, this will be brought up as a bargaining chip, just for this time.
No, but the way I read the MOU, it says it will be included in the contract.
The wording,
Yes, but still up for,
Correct.
yes.
we'll put in the new contract. Then.
Yeah.
No, I.
This has legs, is what I'm saying.
We're aware, okay? And we did have a first and a second,
And I just.
And Katie seconded.
okay? All in favor?
Thanks.
Very good.
Martin said, I didn't sign that.
Thank you. Okay, and item I. PCJS Public Safety.
Oh, you forgot.
I forget a letter. Oh, sorry, that circled it, mistake. Tree bid award.
I'll make the motion to accept the tree bid award from Asplin.
I'll second.
Favor?
Aye.
Now moving, PCJS Public Safety Symposium, I believe that is Chuck going down to Albany, 15th through the 18th.
Make the motion.
Favor?
Aye.
Good, and item J, Can-Am band, Can-Am hockey banners.
Least $35 a band.
Yes. For a 2 week period,
Pardon me?
for a 2 week period, so like some of those, when
Days.
they fall within 2 weeks, then they get charged once. For two events,
Okay.
and
Because it's not at one
longer
point,
time.
Kimball wanted to increase that, but obviously.
We did at one point, didn't we, just
We
to
went-
make sure we didn't money.
Well, we increased to 35.
Right, it
It was
was-
just saying. Let's increase again.
That was 2 years ago.
We want
Should
to
be
be four numbers.
Oh. We had some conversation, right, Campbell and I talked to Brad about relooking fees associated with outside work, whether it's banners, road cuts, or.
Can we make the motion that it's per get fee schedule from the village?
Well, what fee schedule, the existing or the one that might be in
Whatever's-
place
My question.
when they hang?
Well, it wouldn't be fair. I
We
mean,
generally,
yeah,
grandfather
right,
people
yeah.
in based on when we approve. it.
right. They,
So good to ask in advance. Okay,
so I'll make the motion to accept the Can-Am hockey banner schedule.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Is there anything else?
Oh, yeah, two more courtesy of the PD. One is. Put it over here. One is an approval for taxi driver, the son of the current taxi driver, the name is Adam Stevens, and Chuck did a background check and approved it, so. At your, you all approved it?
Motion to approve the taxi driver, Stevens,
I'll second.
based on trucks.
Okay, and just as always, just to bring it up, and anytime we add something late that comes up, you don't have to, we can always take, it, but if you're comfortable. Okay,
What about it?
very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
And the second one is a hire request, Kevin Jesse, which would be a lateral transfer from City of Plattsburgh Police Department. He said he would be a big benefit to us with his 12 years of experience, hired at $29.29 an hour, and I think that would be included under this new MOA that.
I think the MOA said anybody hired after May 2020.
No, the caveat in the bottom of it, did you get the updated one from Deep?
Not.
So, yeah, it wasn't written correctly when it came to us the first. The caveat. Maximum of bottom.
Right, but it still is for any hires on or after May 1st, 2020.
If they have credit, yes,
Right,
yes.
yes. But they get a maximum of 10 from their prior, yeah.
Yes.
But do we have any current officers who were hired?
No,
I have a motion.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Welcome aboard. Anything else?
Nope, that is it.
Is he probationary or provisional? Is that the appointment?
The lateral.
I know,
I still believe it would still be.
Yes, it'd still be
provisional,
checked
yes.
okay, just want to make that clear.
Okay.
Approval, item A, for an affidavit number 24.
I'll make a motion to the warrant affidavit 24.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Jackie. Any new business? Any old business? Anybody have any security comments on the Iron Man this year?
We was cold, it was wet,
Hmm.
but we had two. More. The Adam DeSantis. Stanton.
How did, Adam-
And Colin.
Oh,
And-
Colin,
And
did Brian run again or not?
he had trouble.
So. But in June. I said, God, I said, going down King. It's 50 miles an hour in the room, but
I did hear one person had the old style brakes, they were useless. Yeah.
somebody still was at one wreck.
a lot of ambulance, so I listened to them on this.
Don't they say when it rains, it flushes out sharp objects into the road? That's why you have a lot of fires.
There are a lot of technical issues, tires,
Right.
yeah.
Nothing like that year, we got what, 7 inches of rain during, or something like that. Okay, nothing under mayor items, any commissioner reports? Okay, public comments, Mike, anything?
I was gonna have a speech all of you today. But I think after the visual comment, I think you guys know why I'm here. And I'm just gonna pass on the public comment. I'm gonna give the village the right to respond in a decent manner to my will requests that I've sent in. I think you guys know that you messed up. And I'll just wait to hear from you, and then we can go. I think that's a better opportunity.
Very good,
Sound good?
sure.
Oh. I have a couple of things. We went to Old Fort yesterday to escape Ireland, which we don't do any business, we try this. And we had a very interesting conversation from when North Carolina 20 years ago, but was originally from the Little Fort area in this bad. It asked them, you know, wait here, come on over, go, take it out in a boat, have a couple hours on the lake. They said Lake Placid is the most expensive, least family friendly place to vacation in the Adirondack. And they won't even take a day trip here from Old Forge when they come back to it. When I asked why, they said they had seen a survey somewhere or an article somewhere that said Lake Placid is the most expensive place in the Adirondack. It is for the rich and elite, not regular people. And they can't afford to eat or stay here. In hindsight, I'm seeing what they're talking about. A lot of our boat rentals are for people who want to remain incognito. And of course, we don't recognize these people. They're just normal people, and that's what they want. Now, Lake Placid is riding the coattails of the 1980 Olympics. Poughkeepsie had IBM, Schenectady was known for General Electric, Rochester was all about East Dakota, and we know what happened to those cities. I would hope Lake Placid does not fade into oblivion because the rich and famous make it obsolete for the not so rich and famous. Now, I believe life is a game. I think life is a game. It's not about winning or losing, keeping up. It's how we play the game, because at the end, we're all gonna lose this game. One way or the other, we're gonna lose. I also do not tend to listen to gossip. But when I hear the same story from multiple people, both part-timers and full-timers, residents and workers, I start taking notice. It has been brought to our attention that not only the new owner of Paradox Bay Marina apparently likes to take our picture when we're at the village launch. Gary himself has seen this. But also an elected member of our local government seems to enjoy practicing their camera skills around the launch. These people let us know this are not into local drama. They're not locals, they're people that we have known for years down between the launch and Paradox Bay. They're honest, they're ethical, they're hardworking. And they have nothing to lose by telling us this. I also showed them Facebook pictures of various officials, and every single one of these people pointed out the same person. So there isn't really any question who it is. Now, when we first heard about this, we actually thought it was kind of amusing. But the more I think about it, the more alarmed I became. Why is so much energy being used to gather evidence against Gary Bishop and Captain Moniz? Gary is transparent. He has no agenda. He's just a well-known character that likes to have fun and make people smile. I'm sure everyone has seen the giant teddy bear hanging out the window of his truck. It makes him happy to have people on the street giggle or have somebody ask if they can take a picture of the bear with himself. The property taxes are paid on time, local contractors are paid as soon as the work done, and he's always willing to lend a helping hand. He has never had mechanics lean against him, ever. Next time someone wants to know what's going on, I really wish they would just ask. There's no need to lurk behind the bushes with the camera and then scurry away when noticed. I would hope the same, if not more energy, is going towards discovery of the character and ethics of any other party involved instead of targeting Captain Marniz and Gary. Google is a wonderful thing and offers a wealth of information if you bother to look. I hope due diligence is being maintained. And before you ask, yes, on rare occasions, Captain Marniz has used the village launch. One time, Parlo's barge was hogging the state launch, and rather than waiting for God knows how long, we told the people to go over to the village launch. This particular group was about 30 people. The organizer for the rental had been married in Lake Placid years ago, and they come back every year for vacation. This year was her husband's 50th birthday party. And it ended up to be a large family reunion. They had plans later that day, and we did not want them to miss out or be late with their other plans. We also had an elderly couple who was not comfortable driving their son's boat in or out of Paradox Bay where he rents a slip. So we were giving them rides back and forth to their son's camp from the village launch. Since they had a dock slip and parking at Paradox, it only made sense to utilize the village launch. The son has been a good friend for many years, and we were happy to help out his parents. The other thing that we're really concerned about. We also use the launch, back to this, we also use the launch for ourselves. When we go out personally. Now, one of the things that we're concerned about, and my computer's screwing up, so I'm gonna have to look at it, is the rocks at the village. We want to kind of thank you for putting those in. It's obvious that you're trying to protect the little PVC pipe that's there that's used for drainage into the lake.
That's the power line that goes easily.
Okay,
I believe that's the one you'd be referring.
it looks empty to me, but whatever.
It's a piece of pipe that's laid over the cable that feeds.
Okay, that's fine, whatever, so they're protecting the PVC pipe and the cable. It seems ironic, shall I say, that all of a sudden, this pipe needs to be protected. Since nobody that I have ever seen, well, being down there, has even come close to this pipe. The timing, when you look at the entire picture of when this is covered, just seems kind of ironic. Now, that being said, the pipe is here, the rocks are way over here. I have never seen anybody come even remotely close to that pipe. However, I have seen people that, tourists for the most part, that have launched their boat. Oh crap, I forgot something. They put their boat on that side of the launch. Tie it up to a tree or to the post with a long dock rope and run into town to get more ice or more worms at stores or something. It would make more sense to me if you put a small dock covering that, not for us. We don't need it, we don't want it, we've already found our work balance down at the state. But it would make more sense to me to put a small launch there or a small dock there where people that are just running into town to pick up worms or get something they forgot out of their car. Over the top of that, so they're not anywhere near it. Right now, it's an eyesore. The other thing, concerning the boat launch, the village launch, a lot of people are nervous about those rocks. I mean, it's a given, it's made it a lot narrower, people kind of need to know what they're doing to back in there, because they're afraid they're gonna hit rock 3 foot away from Rockville Driver. So we see a lot of people going to the state launch, where we are 99% of the time. The irony of it is, we're one of the few people, not one of the few people, one of the people that are still going into the village launch because it's empty, because we know how to trailer. It's the people that don't know how to trailer are going to the state launch. Now, what's gonna happen for these people that are afraid to launch down there at the village when DEC closes the state ramp for maintenance? Which is gonna happen either in one spring or one fall. And they're not gonna be able to get the boats in or out, boat access only camps. We have people that go out to their camps as soon as the ice is. And we have people coming in from their camps right before it snows. That launch needs to be accessible. It really does. There's also a rumor going around that certain people are trying to get the village boat launch as non-motoring. And that's a concern. And I would like to know what's going on with that.
I've heard talk of it, but I've heard nothing. We've had.
Nothing's come to the village concerning that.
Oh, like I said, there's always been, I've heard talk of it for years, but.
Yeah.
Nothing worked. Or
With
it's
everything
not-
that's going on down at the lake, all over the lake, not just at the village launch, but everything that's going on down at the lake. When the rocks suddenly come in, new owner at Paradox Bay, we're gone, new boat rental down at Paradox Bay. There's a lot that's happened since the end of May. And there's a lot of concern from not just us, but from a lot of the citizens. You know. One thing I do wanna say though, if you have any questions, if anybody has any questions. What we're doing, why we're doing, how are you doing? How are you doing would be nice, a phone call, how are you doing would be nice, you know? Give us a call, every single one of you people here know how to get hold of us. Please. You know, there's no reason to lurk and scurry around at Paradox Bay taking pictures.
You seem to have this.
I write it down,
Mind just sending it.
absolutely. I lost part of it, my printer won't.
Okay, just-
So I've been trying to read this, but yeah, I will absolutely. I write everything down, so I don't, I have. Everything. So I'm not talking like that. Alright, it just makes it easier, I don't wanna get excitable, I don't wanna get angry, I wanna be.
Despite the last time you said you don't talk very low publicly, you do a very good job, trust me.
I actually, that was in the beginning, because my hands were shaking so hard last time and you complimented me. I actually wrote that, but I didn't say it. But I will definitely send you whatever, if I go to the town, I'll send you those. You know, there's a lot going on that's really concerning, and it's not just about Village Launch, and it sure as hell isn't just about Gary Bishop and Captain Marty's. And we all need to come together to address all of these issues. And we also really need to look, I really would love to share what's from Google. And maybe some people, local officials, I'm not saying whether it's town or village, not getting into that. But those people involved really need to do due diligence, figure out who they're aligning themselves with.
Very good.
Alright, thank you for your time again.
Thank you. Like I said, please
Yeah.
feel free to put that when you get.
Yeah, when I get home, cause it's on the computer at home. But I can't get it to. Flip up,
Okay.
alright,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Jim, did you have anything you'd like to add?
Oh, yeah, just one thing, Art. Prior to the meeting start, Jackie, you were speaking about the Can-Am games and the new contract coming along. I'm wondering, did we update some of the language in that contract because the previous contract didn't define scope as far as, the issues that we had last year with how the snow was pushed around and start
Yes.
times? Did we incorporate that?
We did, and we also incorporated the fact that the dog sled, Can-Am, the village, the town need to get together in December to
Coordinate.
yeah, coordinate the route depending upon the weather. So yes, we did.
Yep.
District
That's
use.
awesome. Thank you very much. I would recommend when you do that, most people could do it with their phones now, but you can get small GPS devices once it freezes over, and you could actually target where you want to put all these things. So, and I know that that's more kind of a surveying thing, but those things are very common today where you can actually they can actually mark out their rinks before they get there. So when they come back in there, they'll know their exact locations where they want to put this, and it all becomes a very, very
Yeah.
good thing. So that way, everyone is on the same path. That's great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You have anything you'd like to add?
About the clothing, proposal for the,
Yes, yep.
I wanted to know the result. It passed.
Meeting
Thank you.
meeting will be taking it out.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a good evening.
Okay, no one else to speak, motion to adjourn,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
all in favor?
I
Good, thank you for your time.
Well, Art, not, totally. People ask me if you signed, we forgot one PBI agreement, and we signed it all. I don't know, so.